Alright, what is up everybody? So, Shadow Scout 0013 here coming in with another unit, well not unit I guess I should say, a faction just list building episode, which I don't think I've done in a very long time. So I kind of wanted to do that today, and the reason being that I'm doing this, especially on Shadow Collective, is because we're not seeing them at all. I think in a lot of tournaments, well, especially at Crucible, there were no Shadow Collective lists. And at the Canadian one that was posted not too long ago, there was only one that I saw, and it was not doing so hot. And I don't understand why they haven't updated Shadow Collective yet, because it's a really good one, but we have what we have, and I'm going to try and work with that and see if we can create something, and I'll give you the reason why I'm coming up with a few ideas and what we come up with. I'll kind of explain a little bit like the reasoning behind it and see what kind of objectives we can do, what kind of strengths they still have, and what they can do to hopefully survive or at least play the objectives a little bit. But first I'll go over a few housekeeping things. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. That would be amazing. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and once I hit 1,000, I'll do a pretty good giveaway for you guys. So that would be amazing. Go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment down below to be entered in to win. I have some cards to give away. I've got alt art standing order cards. I have a holographic Han Solo card, a holographic 3-pip of the Sith Will Rule, which is the new Dooku 3-pip that came with Asajj. And I'll be doing a giveaway for an Essentials kit, as well as some Baron of Dice CIS dice. And I think that's it. At least I've got those, and I'm trying to figure out how to give them away. But if you want to be entered in to win, go ahead and, like I said, be a subscriber and leave a comment. Another way to win is to become a Patreon member. All you have to do is be a member. If you don't have to be paying, but if you'd like to pay just to help support the channel, that would be amazing. You get early access to the photos of everything that I'm taking if I go to tournaments. You get videos early, and yeah, that'd be awesome. And then lastly, if you want to head to the Discord, head on over to the Discord. Join in to some chats. If you've got questions about lists or list ideas, go ahead and post them into the Legion faction list. If you just got list help for new players, if you got questions, feel free to post them there. If you do battle reports, feel free to post them in here. You know, it doesn't matter if you have a different channel or not. I just want it to be, I just want to build a nice community. So it really helps. So if you do a lot on here, your server level goes up, and whenever the new giveaways start, you are added to the current list of people who are entered in to win. So yeah, that is how I tally up people who are on Discord. So it really helps to continue chatting and whatnot. So, and also if you know other tournaments that are going on, feel free to post them in here. I think there's like a tournament spot. And if you do play TTS, at some point I do want to get like a good tournament going on TTS. So this will be a good spot for you to kind of hang out. So yeah, go ahead and do all that. So yeah, let's get to the Shadow Collective. So if we take a look at the Shadow Collective, nothing has changed. The only thing that is changed is we're able to do 1,000 points now. So let's take a look at the objectives and kind of like what things would be good at these objectives. So with marked targets, you're just trying to basically get bounties. So if you have your pikes and or Mandos, they can go from range 4, range 3 pretty well. So this wouldn't be that bad, and Mandos move up pretty quickly. Sweep and clear could be amazing, especially with fast units. Like if you have a bus and you can slingshot up a Black Sun, that would be amazing for sweep and clear. If you do have bikes, sometimes you might be able to do, if they are surviving long enough, let's just say that they are able to survive long enough, and you still have 2 bikes left, like on round 2, then you're going to have reinforcements with those bikes. So you'll be able to compulse, move, maybe move again, you do have a dodge, or you can compulse move, take a dodge. So you have 2 dodges with independent dodge if you decide to take the dodge. And then with reinforcements at the end, you do an extra speed 1 move. So then by round 2, you're going to basically be able to, hopefully, compulse, get off an overrun attack. You're going to be able to move and get another overrun attack in, because if you have both bikes, that overrun 1 becomes overrun 2. And then you can get a shot off if you wanted to. So that's 3 different attacks, I should say. So sweep and clear could be really, really good. And then destroy enemy base is going to be amazing with Mandos, because they're pretty fast and mobile, as well as your bikes. Even your AA5 could be pretty good at destroy the enemy base. Bring them to heal, sure. I mean, you do have whips, you do have pikes that can go up to range 4 if you don't do the whip, and or you do have Bosk who can lay down suppression, so that might not be the worst thing. But I think that those are pretty much going to be it. Obviously, surface scan isn't that bad. Recon mission, if you have Maul, this could be pretty decent, because you're going to be moving him in pretty close. And then let's look at the actual first primary objectives, I should say. Secondary objectives, we just went over. Primaries, close the pocket. Obviously, if you got Maul, this is going to be pretty good. If you have bikes, this could also be pretty decent. If you've got a bus, then you can just, like if you are down here, then you could move your bus off this way, slingshot your guys over forward, and then kind of go here, your bus this way to kind of block line of sight, at least from this top left red corner. And, or, I mean, if you're red, obviously it's the same thing, but you might be able to, you might have some shots against these guys, but it might be very little, and or they might not be able to aim, because if they don't have long range, then that's fine. With bunker assault, this is going to be amazing for Shadow Collective if you can play it off right, because you can have up to 4 Mandos, you can have Cad Bane, or sorry, up to 4 Commandos for Special Forces, you can have up to 4 Commander Operatives. So you definitely have a pretty decent shot if you can get them in, especially if you're doing, Gar Saxon and 4 Commandos. That's 5 Special Forces units, and possibly being able to secure a point with that should be okay, should be decent. Breakthrough, you can probably get up to 11 activations pretty easily. So if you wanted to do breakthrough, that could be okay. Intercept the signals, again, your bus can deploy. You'd slingshot some guys up to here, so by round 2 they're going to be in position already for at least one of those sides, and then your buses can hopefully not only block line of sight, but hopefully block a lane or prevent them from make them have to move a little bit more. So that would be great with the bus. Recover the research, as long as you are contesting an objective, and up to 4. So as long as you're controlling up to 4 of these, the bus could be pretty decent, to block off at least 1, hopefully. And then you've got bikes. Bikes can contest fairly easily, at least by round 2. They might not survive for many more, but hopefully you've prevented your opponent from moving up, because maybe they have to move and shoot, so they're not aiming, and you do at least have cover 1, which is something on the bikes. So that's not too bad. And then with shifting priorities, bikes could be pretty decent to go after the corner ones and force them to have to either spread out or commit to one side even. So there's a lot of different stuff that, they can do with, Mandos. They're pretty mobile and flexible, so they'd be able to get across fairly easily, going to like this side and moving their way over, or however you want to do it. And then, advanced intel is always going to be a given that you should have. Fortified positions could be good, especially if you have maybe like pikes, because then they'll have danger sense after doing heavy cover. Or even with, Black Sun, they only have range 2, so at least giving them some extra protection while they're trying to head forward could be really good. Cunning deployment wouldn't be that bad, especially for pikes, because you're going to give out lots of dodges. So not only are you giving out 3 dodges, if you have 3 pikes, then that would be pretty decent. Garrison, if you do have, again, pikes, they've got independent dodge, and they're going to get an extra dodge with prepared position, so that's 2 dodges. They do have situational awareness, and, maybe if you have recon intel on a capo, you can scout up 1, and then you could take a dodge and then give it to the pikes that are up front, giving them 3 dodges. So there's at least an opportunity for garrison. I know that it is definitely not the best, but if you're making the most out of those dodges, then it could be okay, especially if you don't have the points for that recon intel. Ordnance could be pretty awesome. Strafing run could be, well, yeah. All right. So, let's get into a few different ideas that I've already come up with. So, we have a naked pike capo, which is just easy 48 points. We have Maul with burst, force choke, and into the fray. I'm not bringing his dark saber because I don't think I've got any Mandos. So really, the only time that I would bring dark saber is to give him a command, to make him a commander and not an operative, so that his courage value correlates to the Mandos, because they do. And, he also is going to gain cunning and surge to crit, but because you don't have any Mandos, and because you are bringing Bosk, it's not really going to matter. And so I've also got Black Sun Enforcers in here. I've got one of them with the Magdet and the Vigo. I've got 2 Pike Syndicate Foot Soldiers with the PM or the P-13M Destroyer and the Capo and Recon Intel. So at least this guy is going to be able to get a free Scout 1, and then you could probably move and shoot. And since you've got a range 4 gun, that's not too bad. And with the new cover rules, it could get something through. And since you've got the Capo, you do have Independent Surge, so you are going to be getting a Surge token, which is pretty nice. And then you've got a Pike Foot Soldier with the Electro Whip and the Capo and Recon, so that way you can get them in a little bit more. And with the Immobilize 1, that's fairly good, especially if you're playing like shifting priorities. Maybe say that you had an extra Foot Soldier in here that was the Whip, and you're playing shifting priorities, you can keep them in place. And then hopefully if you're controlling it, they'll move it. And if they've already gone, they're not taking that Immobilize token until their next turn. So you've prevented them from moving. So that's pretty awesome. And it's oppressive. So that's not bad nowadays. You've got 3 Swoop Bike Riders because I feel like threat saturation is going to be nice with them. Does your opponent go after the 3 Swoop Bikes coming after them? Or do they try to dwindle down? Do they just try to shoot down your Pike Foot Soldiers that have, range 3, range 4, or even the Whip? You've got lots of dodges on them, hopefully. And then the reason I have the Pike Capo in here is to, independent dodge, give it to somebody, and then maybe take a dodge, give it to somebody, and recover. So that's not too bad. And then with the 3 bikes, I have an AA5 to throw those Black Sun Enforcers a little bit farther forward, with the Backworld Medic, Refurbished Gonk Droid to stay alive a little bit longer, and the Raiding Party Leader. Now, obviously, if you didn't want the Gonk Droid and you just didn't think because of the transport rules it's not worth it, then what I would do is you've got enough points for the laser, the quad laser here. And if you didn't really care for the Raiding Party Leader and you wanted the Frenzied Gunner, then that would actually not be bad either. Plus, it's cheaper. It just depends if you want Demoralize or if you want more points. So say that we did more points, you've got 6 extra points to deal with. So you can either give the Pike Capo, either a portable scanner so that you don't have to recover as much because you won't have as much suppression. And so maybe you put Recon Intel on him to get him up a little bit more. And then with that scout move, then you can take a dodge to hand out that dodge and move, or you should be able to take a dodge, give it to somebody, and then recover that way. It just honestly depends if you want. So we'll say portable scanner, because if you have portable scanner on the Capo, you can give Maul a dodge. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do with that. And then let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. With the quad, you're rolling 7 dice because that Frenzied Gunner is going to be able to give you an extra dice. And with the way that the cover rules are, it's going to be pretty good. And it's got armor 5 now, so it's not going to be the worst thing. And with the weak point in the rear, they're probably not going to be hitting that very often because you've also got reposition. And with the new reposition rules, this is going to be fairly nice. So yeah, use it as a line of sight blocker and an extra walking wall to be able to get your guys somewhere. So what I would say is for your battle plans, you're probably looking at marked targets, because being able to throw the speeder bikes far ahead, especially with reinforcements, being able to use the Black Suns, get them farther ahead, hopefully take someone out in their deployment zone, sweep and clear. That's what I'm talking about mostly. Mark targets, they're probably going to put it on your bikes. So actually, you might not want that. You might want, let's just say, surface scan. No, what that was it? No, it's recon. So recon, give it to Maul, and then destroy the enemy base. Again, you've got 4 vehicles, so it's going to be fairly easy to be able to at least put a bomb on one of them. So yeah, that's not too bad. And then you got recover the research, because you've got lots of ways to be able to contest between the bikes and the bus, and throwing your Black Sun forward, breakthrough between, again, the bikes, and having them split their army, and hopefully between Maul and Boss with the long range, and the Black Sun, being able to kind of secure at least one of these. And as long as you're contesting something, I think, right? So as long as so starting in the second round, during each end phase, players score a victory point for each checkpoint within friendly territory that is not contested by an enemy unit. So maybe you put the vehicles on one side and then everybody else on the other side. Maybe not that bad, because at least with the bus, you can kind of maneuver it to block some lanes again. And intercept the signals. You can, again, throw your bus somewhere. You can use your bikes to get to their home. So you have at least something there. And then I have fortified positions. If you don't want fortified, and again, because you have pikes, if you wanted to go with garrison, maybe go with garrison. It's a niche card for a specific list, and it might work with this. This is a theory crafting period, and so I haven't used Shadow Collective yet. I'm going to try to in another game at some point, just to kind of test out and see, because with Maul, with Force Choke, it's a little bit different. You're definitely wanting him to be in melee, and so what I would suggest is the turn that you're going to use Burst of Speed, you can move, and then you can melee, and then Force Choke, and then the next turn you're probably at that point going to be playing the Witch Magic to be able to strip the immobilized tokens and give him that recover, so that he gets Force Choke back, and all of his immobilized tokens are gone, so he's able to, again, keep moving and Force Choking. And so if you last first with him, you probably won't go first with him, because it's a 3-pip, but at least you'll have him in the bag. And then with the AA5 backrolled medic, maybe if you can get Maul close enough to that bus, or the bus close enough to Maul, you can take off a wound and prolong him a little bit more. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. So that is the first list, and all of these will be left in the description down below. The second list. Let's see. We have Maul with Burst, Choke, Into the Fray, and the Darksaber this time. We have a Black Sun Vigo with Lead by Example and Recon. You've got 2 Black Suns with the Magdet, Vigo, and Recon. You've got Rook Cast with Offensive Push, the Shields, and Rockets, and you have 2 more just regular Commandos with the Marksman, the Shields, and the Rockets. So you've got 3 Mandos altogether. You have 3 Swoop Bikes. So you have 6 units that are speed 3. You have Maul that can at least burst to get somewhere. So you have very fast-moving units. With the Black Sun, all right, so with Maul, still, you have Maul's 2-pip, his Eminence. With his Eminence, if any other trooper unit at range 1 of Maul can gain a suppression token, and then when another friendly trooper unit at range 1, of Maul activates, it's going to skip its rally step altogether, which gives it its 2 actions. So if it's really fully suppressed and it can't do anything, you can recover and then shoot, getting rid of all of the suppression. So if it was still suppressed, or maybe it was almost panicking, you still get your 2 actions, recover all that suppression off, fire away. You probably have independent aim with the Black Sun enforcers, so you can still get a shot in with an aim, so that's not bad. And then the other thing is I have the Black Suns in here because of Dauntless. So at least with Maul giving all of your Mandos Courage 3, you have the Black Suns that are all Courage 2, and you have the Black Sun Vigo with Lead by Example, because if they do use Dauntless, you're going to have to give them a suppression. and then maybe you go with the Black Sun Vigo, hopefully after the Black Sun Enforcers have gone, hopefully. And then you can, take off a suppression, especially if they had a Dauntless, to give themselves a suppression to move, and then they could shoot. So at least they're staying mobile. So at least your entire list is hopefully continuing to move. So if you did want to pick, your battle plans, mark targets wouldn't be that bad, I guess. And sweep and clear, destroy the enemy base. If you wanted to, again, go with recon mission. I like recon mission because it's a simple one. Bunker assault because you've got 3 special forces. You've got 3 bikes, so you can probably easily overwhelm and hopefully secure something by round 2. And then between the overrun, where all you have to do is just maybe like move an inch, and as long as the movement tool is overlapping, you can do that. And then you do have Maul as an operative, as a commander, so he can do a lot with that. So you got something pretty decent. Again, recover the research because it's easy to contest with bikes and some super fast movements, and then breakthrough because you've got lots of stuff to put them on the back foot and try to take an early lead. And with the jetpack rockets, you're shooting 4 red. If you decide to use them early, because chances are with the new cover and dice that's out there, your Mandos, you're going to try to keep them alive as long as you can. So it might even be better to just test out to see if you should shoot just the 4 red, blast, it'd be critical 4, impact 4, so no cover. You're probably going to be rolling a ton of paint, so that's 4 paint that they're going to have to roll for. If you feel like you can get into range 3, especially with the marksman, and then use 1, maybe 2 of the rockets, then at least you're shooting 3. If you do 2 rockets, you're shooting 3 red at range 3, and then 2 black, 2 white, because the regular guys are also a black and a white. So you've got some options there, and it'd still be blast. It would be critical 2, and with the way that they're rolling, and then you got precise, because if they also don't get an order, they have an aim. So that's an easy way to get that precise in. So lots of good ways. That's 10 activations still, so you're doing fairly well. Maul's fairly cheap. I should say cheaper by 30 points, so that's not too bad, especially with choke. And again, you can use his technical 1 pip, even though it's 3 pip, to, last burst of speed with him, choke, do some damage with the Dark Saber, and then use Witch Magic, strip all the immobilize, heal him 2 wounds, recover, and then just have him continuing doing a lot of stuff. Because Maul's really good still. Now it's just a matter of getting him in there. The next one. This one's a little bit different. You have 2 Black Sun Vigos. You have Maul. You've got a Black Sun with the prepared supplies, frag grenades, and the Vigo. So no heavy, just the Vigo, because you're going to have a bus. With the Gonk Droid and the Backworld Medic. Again, if you don't want the Backworld or the Gonk Droid, swap it out for the Laser. They're both 20 points. And it just depends on if you want to try to keep the bus alive for the medic, or if you just want it to move and start shooting. Or shooting and healing, and it's up to you. So what I'll do is I'm going to keep the medic on there, the Gonk Droid on there, just because to keep it alive a little bit longer, to contest your objectives. Because if you can keep the speeder truck alive, that's a pretty big, hefty bus that can, I think, technically, depending on the objectives that you have, with intercept, probably not so much. Recover the research, you can probably contest 2 at a time with the bus. Breakthrough, not so much. Close the pocket, you're not going to be. Bunker assault, you're not going to be. And with shifting priorities, you're probably not going to be, getting 2 objectives at once, because they're going to shift, and your opponent's probably going to move it away from all the other stuff. So it's going to be getting 1 anyway. And at least with intercept, your bus is slingshotting them and then moving to hopefully block some lanes and line of sight. And with breakthrough, maybe you don't want breakthrough and you want bunker assault, which actually is probably a better idea, because you have 3 special forces and you've got up to 3 commanders. So they're going to be doing pretty well if they're securing something. So yeah, That's also not that bad. We're going to update that one. And did I update all of these? Yeah, let's just update it just in case. Because again, I do save these in the description down below for everybody. So yeah, so you still got your 3, you got your 2 Black Sun Enforcers with the Vigo. So at least you've all got Courage 2 units in here, and it's not too bad. So that is the kind of similar to the second one that I'd already done. Let's go to a completely different one with Gar Saxon and lots of Mandos. So we have Gar Saxon with Hunter, his combat shield, recon intel, and then the jetpack rockets and flame projector, because you're probably going to be getting close with him, and it's a close game anyway now. So with mostly range 2 to 3 happening a lot, and with the way that he is speed 3, and if you have recon intel, he's going to be getting in pretty quickly. And blast is also really nice, and this is going to cycle in itself, and you've got impact, so that's pretty good. And then I've got a Black Sun Enforcer with the Magdet, the Black Sun Vigo, and prepared supplies, which you could probably put a frag grenade if you wanted to, but they're probably going to be getting shot at fairly quickly, so I figured, have an extra dodge on them, why not? You've got 2 more Black Sun Enforcers with just the Vigo and recon intel, 3 more of them to kind of get them for objectives. You've got 4 Mando Super Commandos units with the marksmen, the shields, and the jetpack rockets. Now, I've also seen people get rid of the shields and put recon intel. And that's not a bad idea to save points. That would probably save you 15 points to use somewhere else. So maybe instead of the flame projector, if you wanted to put his long range gun, you could. That's kind of up to you. Or if you just felt like getting rid of something else and then putting a heavy on one of these other guys, you could. I don't know if that's worth it though. But then I do have a speeder truck with the Backworld Medic and the heavy laser retrofit. And actually, yeah, if you put those 15 points, maybe you put 5 points into having a frenzied gunner, so that you at least have 4 dice when you shoot the heavy laser retrofit. You'd have 10 points left that you could probably put into maybe Gar Saxon, or maybe if you wanted to add the comms jammer on here, then you'd have another 5 points extra that you could just maybe put the frag grenades on these guys too. So that's an option. I have the combat shields because, and the other reason I say you could also have the recon intel is because with Fight Another Day, you're going to be able to give outmaneuver to 2 other Mando units. So at least, and when you give them an order, they gain a dodge from the card, and they gain a dodge from Defend 1. So they have 2 dodges, and it's basically like your shields. And so and you get that on the 2-pip and the 3-pip. So you have at least 2 cards that you're going to be able to give them extra dodges. Or even if you just gave them recon intel and or situational awareness, the 2 cards give them that. But also if you had like aggression, well, that's going to give them, if you do decide to give them orders, then give them some dodges. And then they also have situational awareness. If you went with, discretion, you're giving out some dodges without giving out orders. So you could at least have almost a shield there. And then you have recon intel to be able to move them in farther. So those are your options to kind of keep them alive without shields. I prefer shields just in case because of, high velocity. High velocity, you can't spend dodges. So at least if you have a shield, you can spend it. And I'm hoping at some point they make these rechargeable. I'm hoping, or at least put it naturally on the card and keep them the same price, just kind of like the regular commandos in Republic. That would be really cool. Or even just give them 1 shield and make it recharge and make it native to their card, and then get rid of these upgrades. And that would open up that gear slot for emergency stims or the recon intel. That would also kind of keep them alive a lot longer and make these guys a lot better. Because those free extra 2 wounds on the commandos, especially with the amount of dice that there are, that could be really, really good. So it's just up to you on that one. And with the speeder truck, obviously you're putting the one with the Magdet and the Black Sun Vigo and prepared supplies in there. And then possibly a frag grenade if you got rid of all of the shields on these. Oh, actually, you'd have 20 points, I should say. Because the Recon's 5, these are 10. So obviously you got 4 commandos instead of 3. So that's why I said 15. But yeah, you'd have 20 points to be able to put anywhere. So yeah, you could definitely change out the retrofit into even making it the... let me just do this real quick. All right, so let's get rid of those. And let's just put Recon on all of them. There you go. You got 20 points. Let's get rid of the laser retro and put the quad on there. Even give it the... not the conch droid, but give it the gunner. There you go. And you've got 7 points left. Again, if you wanted to put frag grenades on there, you got 2 points left. Really, you don't need those 2 points on anything. So that kind of stinks. So maybe we get rid of the frag grenades, give you the 7 points, and you can put, again, maybe like comms jammer on here. Still gives you 2 points extra to do with whatever. But yeah, we'll leave it at here just to make things more interesting. And again, if you just want to put the take off recon intel, change all this stuff back to the shield, you can. But this gives you a bunch of good activations still to use for, let's go with all of Gar Saxon's. We'll go with, ploy, aggression, and discretion. Then with battle plans, you can go with sweep and clear because you got some fast stuff. Mark targets because you do have surging red saves with all the Mandos, so it does make it a little bit tougher for them. And if they're going after your Mandos, they're ignoring your bus and your Black Sun Vigos, so that's at least something. And again, so with this list, you have Gar Saxon that has compel for his Mandos. So if the Mandos do get suppressed, he can compel them. And the Black Sun Enforcers have Dauntless. So at least everyone is going to be able to, keep moving and shooting at some point at least. And if you're playing like, either close the pocket or bunker assault or intercept the signals or recover the research or shifting priorities, that's going to be pretty good because, with them shifting it, if they're trying to suppress you, just take a suppression, move, and then recover. And get rid of all the suppression so now you're not panicked, now you're not suppressed, and you're going to score. And they didn't think you would, so that's something. And then obviously advanced cunning deployment for some extra dodges on your Mandos. And if they had, again, situational awareness on all of them, or if they had their shields, then that's pretty amazing. And then maybe, Garrison wouldn't be good on this one. Ordnance or fortified, those could be okay. So, yeah, I'm going to put, Gar Saxon Mandos on here. So that way you guys have this list in the description down below. And then lastly, this is just a fun free-for-all. You have one capo with lead by example and portable scanner. You have Maul with burst of speed, force choke, esteemed leader, and end of the fray. And did I ever have a Maul in here with force push? Yeah, I've got force push on this Maul. So if you're interested in this 10-act list with push on Maul, you can. Because, he does have 3 actions. You can, move, recover, or you can move, force push, move, attack, and then on the next turn you can recover, aim, attack. So it's doable, but it just depends on when you're going to be able to recover that. So yeah, Maul with burst, choke, esteemed leader, and end of the fray. You have Bosk with hunter and targeting scopes. You have Cad Bane with duck and cover, situational, comms jammer, and electro gauntlets. And I don't have the Darksaber on Maul because I wanted 3 operative tokens in case you needed to go with CAD a little bit earlier. And if you wanted, instead of lead by example, you go with improvised orders. That's going to leave you 4 points to kind of put on somebody else if you wanted. And I don't know where you'd put those 4 points. Oh, actually, if you got rid of smoke grenades on the one guy, you've got 7 points. So with the 7 points, maybe on Cad Bane, you could go with, you can't go emergency sims because that's 8, sadly. At least you can go, maybe prepared supplies. He does have situational awareness, which you could use. and you don't need recon intel because you're going to be playing his 3-pip probably. Yeah, I'll let you actually figure that out if you wanted to. And the reason again I've got, sorry, I keep scrolling up and down on you. The Pike Capo with portable scanners is to again give Maul that dodge in case he needs it, or you can just give it to the foot soldier. So I've got one Pike foot soldier with the P13 disruptor, the Capo and recon, and well actually that's all of these guys. I don't know why. We're just gonna make that there, and then 2 swoop bike riders with comms jammer, just to kind of prevent people from getting orders if you need. And with the extra 7 points, maybe you can give Bosk like offensive push. You can give Cad Bane prepared position, or not prepared, prepared supplies, which would give you again 2 points to kind of just have. You could, with the Pike foot soldiers, you could give them smoke grenades, 2 of them, which actually isn't going to be that bad, for some extra cover in case there's not enough. It's just up to you. But again, I have 3 operatives and you have improvised order. So that way, if you do have Cad Bane, at least you have options. If you pull, you've got 3 chances if you don't have anything in there. Or I mean, if you're going to use Maul's cards, at least he's got something. And he does have Allies of Inconvenience, so you could probably give something to Cad Bane if you wanted, but then you'd be foregoing your independent dodge too. You're probably going to give it to Bosk. Maybe you've got improvised orders in here just in case. So Cad Bane's got comms jammer, so at least if you do have to go with him later, they've got to try to draw that card, unless they're giving it in order from its own command card, I think, because comms jammer just says enemy units at range 1 cannot be issued orders unless they're issuing orders to themselves. So yeah. Or HQ uplink. Don't go put CAD next to HQ uplink. And with swoop bike riders, they're going to have a hard time handing out orders. So this is just a fun one to have. Your command hand, I didn't put one because I just figured it would be up to you. But you're definitely going to go with Witch Magic. That is a sure thing. Seize what power we can. You could probably give it to Maul, CAD, and Bosk. At least they have an order. Or you could give it to the Capo. You can give it to Maul and or Maul and both swoop bike riders, in case you need to go with them fairly early, because it's just 2 units. And then you can place an aim and some surge tokens on this card. That's up to you. I make the rules now is probably what you're going to go with as well. Reptilian Rampage is 2 attacks, so why not? I'm Your Worst Nightmare for 2 attacks is actually going to be pretty decent. And, another 2-pip, Phantom Menace wouldn't be that bad, because at least it can give him Infiltrate, and then if you do decide to play it round 1, Maul's not getting shot at. So, and he's going to have an order. So it's almost better than prepared positions at that point. Even though you're not going to have a dodge, no one can shoot you beyond range 2. So that actually wouldn't be that bad either. And so you probably actually don't want to have duck and cover on CAD, which would give you 9 extra points. Because if you're not bringing his 2-pip, obviously you might not want it. So maybe you go with either Seize Initiative if you wanted, up close and personal. Actually, yeah, up close and personal. Why not? Why not give him some extra dodges? And then that gives you all of the points that you need. 9.99. So you still have a 2 and 3-pip that you can go with. And why not, go with... oh, yeah, you still have down here. So his Eminence actually could also be a good one, because it gives Maul a dodge. And it also allows people to skip the rally step. And it also hands out a suppression to every unit at range 1 of Maul, which, could be a few. Why not go with the Phantom Menace? And then you have another 3-pip. Why not go with At Last? Gives him an aim, and Jedi Hunter. So if he does need to surge to crit without the Darksaber, that at least gives him a chance to still surge to crit 1 round. So you've got that going for you. If you don't like those, that's the reason why I picked those. If you don't like those reasons, leave a comment down below and tell me why. You got marked targets. Obviously, they're probably going to go towards CAD, Bosk, and Maul, and then maybe the Capo. Why not? They could also go for your bikes. I would go with that. Sweep and clear could be good, because with Maul having Infiltrate, between the bikes getting in pretty quickly, and between Cad Bane being able to use his 3-pip as well. Because I don't remember if you can show, because okay, so actually with the command cards, if you did divulge the Phantom Menace, it doesn't say that you have to play this round one, and then with CADs, this card must be selected during round one. So you can go with CADs and still infiltrate with Maul, as far as I understand. Now, I could be wrong. I always get this mixed up, so feel free to let me know. And then, I mean, if you don't want marked targets, then maybe go with Destroy Enemy Base because you've got your bikes, and then maybe Recon Intel because you have Maul, who, again, is going to be getting fairly close to multiple units at range 2. So that wouldn't be bad. Close the Pocket could be fairly decent with this one because, again, you've got Cad Bane that's going to be getting in. You have Bossk suppressing the heck out of everybody with his gun at range 4, and then you've got Maul closing the gap with Burst, and then getting rid of the Immobilize with his 3-1 pip, that kind of thing. You've got multiple. You don't have any special forces, so that Bunker Assault might be pretty tough. Recover the Research would, again, be pretty decent with the fact that you've got 10 activations. You've got Infiltrate, you've got Catch 3-pip, you've got Bikes, so you're going to be able to at least hopefully get 4 objective tokens, POIs, by round 2. And shifting priorities wouldn't be that bad either, so that's kind of what I would go with, again, because you got your Bikes and other stuff like that. Advanced Intel would be amazing to have. Cunning Deployment to give a dodge to Cad Bane, so he'd have 3 dodges because of Independent, and then you can give a dodge to Maul, especially if he has the Infiltrate, and even though no one beyond range 2 can shoot him, if someone, did somehow get range 2 of him, then at least he has a dodge. If not, you can give it to the Pikes. You can give it to the Capo, who can then give it to a Pike foot soldier, and then you have independent dodge, which you'll give to a Pike. You could give him another dodge, give it to another Pike, but you might. That's just handing out suppression to himself. And then, you could possibly have 2 dodges on every Pike foot soldier round 1, if you didn't want to give it to Cad Bane. Because then with the independent dodge on the Capo, giving that dodge to a Pike foot soldier, that's 1. And then you have, with Cunning Deployment, 3 more dodges to hand out. That's all 4 Pike foot soldiers having 2 dodges at the beginning of the round. So definitely Cunning Deployment would be great for that. And, if you did have Garrison and gave it to a Pike, they could have 2 dodges because they're independent, and then they would have prepared positions, which would give them a dodge. So just kind of up to you on that one. Depends on if you want to get someone up early. I think you've got Recon Intel on all of them, so really you don't need Garrison. Let's get rid of that one and put fortified positions. You got white saves. Why not? So this one would just be Operation Operative. So yeah, there you go. Let's save that one. So all of these are in the description down below. This would be such a fun. Hopefully this kind of explains some Shadow Collective with the 2.6 update and kind of gives you some thoughts about Shadow Collective. Since we're not really seeing it, I kind of want to play something just to see how well they do. The sad thing is that they're very low on free actions, but with Independent, technically it's a free action. It might not be the action you want, but it's something. And Maul having, 3 actions, it's, again, some sort of a free action almost to kind of do what you want. You're not claiming anything, so you don't have to use it to claim. You could use it to recover and bring back Force Choke or Force Push, depending on which one of these you even want to try, or if you're making something on your own. But yeah, guys, that is it. Head on over to the Discord, become a member, and start chatting away. Anything that you want, just feel free to post something off topic, on topic, different lists that you're going for. Head on over to the Clan of Shadows Patreon and become a member. That really does help the channel. And be a subscriber. Leave a comment down below. That also helps. And lastly, I haven't brought this up in a while, but if you are looking to lose weight or get in shape or try to, gain some muscle, feel free to come on over here and download the app that I have for $15 a month. You get 3, 4, 5, and 6-day week workout programs, corrective exercise stuff, 30-minute programs, stuff to do at home, abs and core to do at home. You have cardio circuits in case you just want to try to lose some weight. There's videos and descriptions of everything. There's 120 different recipes, ways to track your progress, take your progress photos, track, what weight you're using, and then see it graphed out. This is a nice way to be able to get into the gym, especially nowadays, trying to make sure that you are trying to work out hard. And then there is online coaching and stuff like that if you're interested. So yeah, you can, let me know in the description down below. But all right, guys, that is it. I do want to give a huge shout out to the Patreon members. Thank you so much, Emperor and Daniel Padilla. Thank you, Anthony and Grant. And thank you, Tyson. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I will see the rest of you guys later. Peace.